Yeah. So now you want to iterate because Sword Game and Mr. Autofire, and now the new game seems to be running on a similar kind of a meta game.
I mean, you're right. I don't think we are like it's not like a strategic decision to do exactly that.
It just kind of evolved.
Yeah, you're just doing it smartly.
It just kind of evolved, and there's a factor of there's not really a lot of games like that in the App Store that also have.
This is no bullshit gaming podcast, 2.5 Gamers, sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and ad monetization jobs. We are definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but having so much fun. Let's not forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try. Can we go? Finally. Okay, so welcome. This is session number 79. My name is Matej.
I'm Felix Broberg.
And I'm Jakub Remiar.
We are your hosts for today, but today we are joined by our good friend Miikka Ahonen because we are going to discuss Mr.Autofire and talk a bit about the other games, Sword Game and Battle Badgers. Miikka, welcome. Could you please introduce yourself and Lightheart Entertainment a little bit?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Matej, Jakub, Felix. My name is Miikka Ahonen. I'm one of the co-founders of Lightheart Entertainment. We're a mobile free-to-play studio based in Helsinki, although we do have employees around Europe, basically.
Nice.
The company was founded 4 years ago, roughly. And we're mostly known for Mr.Autofire, which is our first game that's been out since late 2019.
Nice. 2019, okay. Well, you also have in your team our former colleague, Gabor from Pixel Federation, right? So it's a small world.
Yeah, that's correct. Gabor is actually running Mr.Autofire, so nice. If I'm going to speak on anything that is untrue, he will come for me at the office.
I know, You know, we know him well.
Sending our regards.
Yeah. Yes. So as teased in our previous episode, this one is going to be special because we will do our classic review based on the external numbers, tools, and using our sadness multiplier. So, Miikka, for you, sadness multiplier is when we need to multiply numbers because we look into different tools and usually they underestimate revenues. So we do this sadness multiplier, and it's usually from what we see in the tools. Like if we talk about 2 million a month revenue, that's usually it's like closer to 4 or something around 3.5. So that's why we call it sadness.
So you're just calling it's like a constant that you pull out of your sleeve and you call it that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because we're always
in Finland we have a term for it. It's called hervanta constant. So people in the know will know what I'm talking
multiplier
about.
For now, but yeah.
Yeah, because we were always sad when someone said like, "Hey, well, so you were super wrong because of the numbers." Like, all right, then we are going to multiply. So again, you then Miikka can tell us how wrong we are, and then we're going to actually discuss it. But don't forget, this is no bullshit gaming show, so we expect brutal honesty. If you don't want to comment, just say cucumbers or pickles or whatever. We will move on, but we will never invite you again.
I think one time is enough anyway. So
okay. So I think we can start with like few things. I think Mr.Autofire numbers and then some intros. And I think before hybrid casual was a term, you called it hypercore. Is that true, Miikka?
I mean, when you're raising money, you need to come up with something of your own. And that's what we came up with. I think it was actually Manu who probably came up with hybrid casual from the Narvik consultancy. And I was trying to push to him to use hypercore instead, but he wouldn't budge. So that kind of, I guess that took off better than hypercore. But right, we basically started the company right around when Archer was launched. So that's kind of where we realized that these arcade games with some skill element can be also made into proper free-to-play businesses.
Nice. So I was looking into the tools, and Mr. Autofire was launched. What it looks like April, May 2020. But you mentioned 2019 was like
Global
soft
launch.
launch.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Matej? Global launch. Soft launch was
Yes.
6 months after Archero, if I counted it right.
Yeah, so the game was out in November 2019, the first version, I think,
Okay,
on
the first version.
iOS, US,
Jesus
our
Christ,
soft launch.
iOS US.
And then I think we launched the Android version shortly after.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember, but it must have been out by December.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but as I said, like it's exactly 6 months after global launch of Archero, which is really like amazing speed, to be honest. Heads off.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we founded the company in May 2019. And then we prototyped over the summer and decided to go for the shooter prototype, which became Mr.Autofire in August.
Okay. Oh, that's great. I saw the like there was kind of like a scale happening at the end of like year 2020 in Q4, which is definitely interesting approach. And having peaked in like January 2021 in terms of like downloads around like 1 million a month roughly, and regarding the revenues, the game has best month looks like December 2021, which was a year after. I mean, it was like around this like 1 million also at the December 2020, but also like the December last year after. But let's take again into consideration the saddest multipliers. So I think if it was like 1 million a month in that tool, then I would say and this is in-app purchase revenue only. I would say this could be easily like around like 1.2 million, maybe closer to 2, but depends if you want to comment or not. But it looks like it was doing quite well in like this December 2021 or like during the whole year.
I don't remember like the exact dates,
Yeah.
but at our peak, I think we were doing like 28, 30 million like forward-looking run rate, gross revenue. So I think 1 million per month is definitely undershooting it.
Yeah. So yeah, the sadness multiplier is definitely 1.2 or 2 x of what we are.
Right, but there is a sizable chunk of ad revenue as well, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's what we can.
Because then when I looked at like overall numbers, it looks like you got like 10 million of downloads and in-app purchase revenue like 24 million around. Again, if you take the sadness multiplier here, could be easily like 40 the whole lifetime of the game. But now earning more than let's say I would estimate like more than 1 million, around 1 million a month, but with very few installs, like 50K per month, basically.
Yeah, I think that's roughly the correct ballpark.
Nice. Okay, so we are not actually that bad in estimating things, but yeah, it's that's very very interesting and very nice. Revenue and the daily install we will get back to that. So in terms of retention, we see 52% day 1, 24 day 7, and day 30 is around like 10 on iOS. And when I looked at day 90, which was almost like 4.5% in the tools we see, and it's very similar to what we are discussing on Android. It's just 51 day 1, 23 day 7, 9 day 30, and then around 4% on day 90 on the Android. This is roughly what we see in the tools, which I think it's quite interesting numbers. So very nice job, man. Very nice job.
Thanks. Maybe I can.
You can correct.
I can correct that. I think actually those retention tools always they overestimate.
Yes, I agree there.
Okay.
Like that's
so
not the sadness multiplier,
like
but
yeah, it's like a happiness multiplier.
Exactly.
Are you using that already?
No, but we will definitely.
We will not.
Okay, but which one of these is kind of like far from the truth? Is this the day 1 or the long term?
Day 1 I see is much lower.
Okay.
In my other favorite tool, it's somewhere around 36 to 35 or somewhere there. So
I think you
guess-
can take the average.
Yeah,
and
so
you're
we
pretty
take the
close.
average, and there's the
Yeah.
reality between
But
sadness and happiness.
if you think about the business case of a game like Mr. Autofire, the day one retention
Yeah, it's
isn't
not that
really
important.
that
Yeah.
important for the long-term business. I mean, it's important as a signal when you start it out,
Yeah.
but it's the kind of
It's the
day
shape
30
of the
and
curve.
day 90 that makes you the money.
Nice. Okay. All right, Felix. So, what you got for the Admon, or should we start with Jakub?
Maybe
again?
we start with Jakub actually, and maybe you can show off the game a bit, and just so our dear listeners know what we're talking about.
Okay, but you want to do the Admon during it, or want...
I can do Admon now,
Yeah, you
and then
can do
maybe
Admon
you show off the game first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So I played Mr. Autofire last time in January, and then I started again last week to prepare for the show. And I can see you guys have very much doubled down on ad monetization since then. It's a lot more hardcore. I remember in January there was just a few rewarded mystery crate placements during the gameplay and the odd one in the main menu. Maybe you can show. Yeah, there is actually the mystery crate you can see there. Boom.
Oh,
and maybe
nice!
you can...
That's actually a branded one. I think it's like an event one or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And then maybe you can go to the main menu as well, Jakub.
No, too late.
Now that I
he needs
missed
to,
my
he needs to
energy,
play. He needs to play
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get to level 9 at
Well,
all.
this is a nice event, by the way.
I like this one quite
Yeah.
a lot.
Like, nice.
Yeah,
Can
the
you go to the
board
shop?
game one.
Can you go to the shop
Yeah.
and show off the ad placements?
I think they're all gone because I...
Yeah, you use them all. So there's one here, a metal crate, that's on 24-hour cooldown.
Yeah. No, not here. Like there's one for some either soft currency or keys, one weekly and one daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, one daily here and one weekly here. Then there's one crate.
Current,
which-
yeah, that's there.
And one
Yeah.
one in a week. This one, and I don't know if Hero Summon also works.
No,
I don't
no,
think so.
no,
Hero
no.
Summon.
So-
There's one free in 7 days, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
but
count...
it's not based on the ad view.
Stuff. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I count 2 mystery crates per run. Equipment metal case that appears on a 24-hour cooldown. Hero summon keys on a 7-day cooldown. Rare crate pop-ups in the main menu, which I don't really know when that happens, but it's really nice and welcome. Monthly offer like metal crates and hero summon keys and a rewarded video to revive, but it doesn't show up every time when you die.
What?
So it's on some kind of lottery, I think, or some kind of...
I only got gems. I only got gems for
Oh really?
revival.
Yeah, I got it rewarded once to heal myself. I don't know, Miikka. What's the thinking behind there?
Yeah, so it's actually there's a lucky chance for it to pop off.
Ooh.
What's the odds?
I actually don't remember, so I
Okay.
don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
You can
that's good.
retry and figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Then
the
also you
math.
have interstitial ads that show up, I think about every 10 to 15 minutes during core loop main gameplay after a level is finished. And on
man.
top of that, you have also implemented an offer wall.
That is
The
correct.
interstitials in between levels were just fucking amazing. So I just got the interstitial, and then it said you can purchase IIP, and then this intrusive ads in between levels will disappear.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I love
I
that.
liked it very much.
Yeah.
So did I
really
miss
liked
any
that.
placements there?
I forgot this one. the
Yeah,
energy
that one.
Oh yeah, of course. The
Good
energy.
job, Jakub.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. I'm just a bit
I have a
curious.
higher level than you have. But
Yeah.
still.
when you implemented the interstitials, how did the players react to the increased amount of placements?
Interstitials? I mean, they were always there.
Yeah.
So, what was your question specifically?
No, all the ads, because you basically have
ads.
increased
All
ad
the ads.
placements
You mean so
triple them,
increased
I guess?
RV ads, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any backlash from the ads. What we have managed to kind of push up the RV per
DAU.
player, RV per
Okay.
DAU. But we haven't really pushed the interstitials ever like that, since RV is just much better experience and also, I mean, better business.
Yeah. So, what's the most popular? The most popular ones must be the mystery crates during gameplay, right? Completely.
Correct.
Because in my experience, users sometimes don't look beyond the core loop before ad placement. So, yeah.
Correct. That is correct.
And What's the opt-in rate for the rewarded placements roughly that are on the main menu? I guess it's like maybe half or a third of the ones that are in the main core loop.
I don't remember that from the top of my head.
I'll purchase remove ads between
Okay,
moves.
Yeah.
so rewarded video. So assuming that I don't watch any ones in the main menu and only the ones in the core gameplay, I think it's around maybe 3.0 or 3.5 overall on rewarded video.
Per DAU?
Yeah.
I think you're off by about a factor of 2.
A factor of 2. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's actually closer to 6. Is that what you're saying? Interesting.
Yes.
Is the ad viewer rate around 50% or 70%?
It's like 60 to 70.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's a lot higher
For
than I
those,
actually thought.
for those who are not catching up, it's the percentage of players that watch at least one ads.
Yeah.
So if you factor in interstitials, it's 70 plus.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Choo.
So
Quick-
interstitials
Quick,
as well. I should
open up the
assume
Excel
is-
sheet. Do the
Yeah, I
math.
did actually. I did just now.
Are you
Yeah.
redoing your math on the revenue?
Yeah, of course. Carry the 2.
Oh yeah. Quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. Like, honestly, I thought it would be around 3.0, but yeah, that's really impressive. The ImpDAO for interstitials, which is always hard to increase because it usually hurts the retention quite a lot. Like I'm assuming here it's somewhere around 2.
It's probably less. So actually, like what we do is, if you engage with the RVs, you're not going to see interstitials.
Okay.
Well, that's bullshit. Come on. I really watched a lot of rewarded videos and I got the interstitials as well.
Okay, well, you will see less of them.
In your face. Okay, maybe. Okay, if it's
Maybe
less.
you
okay.
just haven't seen the full force of them, now that you watch few videos.
Okay, could be. Yeah,
I'm just
could
wondering,
be.
like, do you segment? So that's quite interesting way of segmenting. So the more rewarded video you watch, the less interstitials you watch. That's the main segmentation then?
I think it goes kind of on a cooldown. So if you watch an RV, then we're not going to show you interstitials for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's like, I think it's fair for the players. Like if you opt into an ad and get an ad immediately after, it feels really bad. So
Yeah.
that's more a design thing than a business thing, I think.
Yeah. So basically, the DAU in the last 30 days, according to our sadness multiplier data tools, was around like 60,000 DAU in the last 30 days. Is that like on the money or is that a bit off?
It's in the right ballpark for sure.
Yeah, so iOS USA users about 20,000 users and 13,000 Android users in the States, roughly.
No, that's too much detail. I don't remember
Yes.
that.
Okay,
Exactly. Come on.
cool. So basically,
him a
that
break.
should mean that you're earning somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 per day in ad revenue currently on Mr.Autofire, not counting Offerwall.
Yeah, that's not far from the truth.
Okay.
Nice.
So once
Cool.
once you corrected your math, I guess you.
Yeah, I did correct
Yeah,
my
yeah,
math because
yeah.
originally
Yeah.
I thought it was about like 3,000 or like what was it, 2,500.
yeah.
But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, luckily I can change my Excel sheet quite quickly. But the big caveat here is like I've only seen Unity ads whenever I play it. Is that the only network you have implemented right now?
I think it just might be that that Google and Meta don't value your impressions.
I think so. So how many networks do you have?
I mean, we have the usual suspects:
Yeah.
Google,
I saw AppLovin. For
Meta,
sure.
AppLovin.
I saw
Cool.
an AppLovin ad.
Yeah.
It was very annoying. Super long end card. And
I guess
well,
it's
not end
Unity
card,
then
but
trying to
long
get me
video.
convert super extra hard, right? And on Offerwall, I'm just curious, is that kind of also the rough amount, like 10% opt-in that you see there, or is it lower?
I think it's slower. I don't remember at the top of my head, but it's not a very like sizable chunk of the revenue.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the split between ads and in-apps in that case?
I mean,
It's more IIP, right?
more IIP, yeah.
Yeah,
More than
like
half
70-30
is-
maybe?
something like that, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sounds about right. That's what I would think. Yeah, but like if in that case you earn around the 1 million a month, then yeah, okay, makes sense. Around. Okay, so what's the Felix? What's the rating?
I mean, the rating, I was gonna give him a solid 7 out of 10, but basically now he's telling me he's like 2 times as many rewarded videos as I thought it was. So yeah, now I need to change it to an 8. The
Nice.
main reason it's not higher is basically I would probably push even more in interstitials when people haven't made a purchase and if they're not like Basically,
Squeeze
like
them.
Squeeze them. Would you say banners would work as well? But it's like the DAUs is not as high, right? So I guess
No, so basically, like the key to making a lot of ad revenue is just having a big DAU and then having them watch a lot of ads. And the thing about banners is like when it's this type of DAU, it's not really going to make a really big difference if you have a lot of it. So I wouldn't really recommend banners as well. Plus, it's going to make it quite ugly. The only thing that banners, like the argument I would make for banners would be that if you have some kind of users that have never bought anything ever and they don't convert either with like rewarded videos, also show banners to those users because your session lengths, I'm assuming they're probably around like 15, 20 minutes, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, which means that you can get a boatload of banner impressions. I would show if you had it on about like a 15 second refresh rate, and if you set it there, I would say that probably you can show anywhere between 80 to 95 banner impressions per DAU, which is quite high. So it could potentially be more revenue than in the interstitial revenue that you're currently earning. But I would just really segment that carefully because having banners to start with, it's
Let me do a counter argument to that because the game's currently making most of the revenue on IP, as Miikka said, and there's very, very fleshed out endgame systems. Maybe Felix haven't heard of this concept of white whales, which I think is kind of pretty important in this game, which is that there are these kind of power users which haven't paid anything at all, but they are keeping the whales happy in the guilds playing. Therefore, the IP revenue is moving, and you don't really want to squeeze these people out. So, what Felix just said, I wouldn't do at all.
I think Jakub is right on the money there. There is a lot of people who are really, really good at the game. They're important to the game, and we want them to stay in the game, even though they are not paying right now. I mean, it's like it's free to play for a reason, right?
No,
yeah, it's very similar to like Forex in that case of whales have fun, and they can play with different.
Forex is different. Forex, you feed the whales. You need more
Okay,
food for them to feed.
okay. This is just okay, true. Okay, you don't feed the whales here, but you keep them happy because they have. Someone.
I mean, there's an active community of players, and they like to figure out the optimal way to play and all of that, and that is valuable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. But let's move on to UA. I want to hear Matej's take on this.
We can talk UA.
Oh yeah.
We can talk
3, 2,
UA.
1, go UA.
Yeah, UA. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on first 8 months of this year because there seems to be quite a big decline in spend in September. So I guess you scale down mainly to Facebook and Google, with a bit of Moloko. Any comments on scaling down? Or
I mean, yeah, that is correct. Why would you think that publishers usually scale down?
Well, because the numbers suck. But that's the thing. Like you have 50K new installs per month, and then the revenue stays basically the same, or like at the similar levels. So something is not right. Maybe CPI is increased quite heavily, and the payback period then kind of prolonged to the levels that you don't want to see. Maybe that would be like my assumption.
Right. Yeah. So we have been operating with the kind of similar profitability goals for basically since we scaled Mr.Autofire up started scaling it up. So our approach hasn't really changed in that way.
So I would assume you're aiming for getting 100% in 90 days?
It's actually a little bit longer than that.
Oh,
so
nice.
The game has a pretty healthy curve.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I would expect way more from the UA team, and I respect Vera quite heavily. So I won't push too much.
You give us something we can use, and we'll test it.
Okay, very good. So anyway, let's focus on the interesting part, which was happening until August. So what else than uploading, right? So it looks like you were spending quite a lot of money on Hey,
finally got to where I am in the game.
Yeah,
well
finally
done.
got. Well, I'm in the free at the space station, I think, like almost at the end.
Yeah, but it's Horde then they come by wave. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway,
go back.
So I guess it was mainly uploving and then, a lot of playables throughout the months, which is great. I would play them all, but our favorite data tools let me down again. So I wasn't able to download them or record. But then we have Google, Facebook, and a bunch of other channels. So it looks like Unity was pretty big for you at the beginning of the year, but quickly faded off in March. Like that's what I saw. Then you tested the lift of Digital Turbine, Tapjoy, and Beat Machine recently. Like any feedback on like Tapjoy or Beat Machine?
So
it was
I
quite
think-
interesting.
I think our data and your data do not align here. We haven't
Yeah.
really had scale in Unity since last year, September.
I saw
think.
quite a lot of impressions on Unity in January.
Really?
Maybe it was because of Moloko or Liftoff
I
or
think- I
Liftoff
think-
or
I
Liftoff.
think- I think Moloko we tried out though, but
Yeah.
Liftoff never. Digital Turbine we didn't.
Really nice. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is quite a big bullshit in the tools that we use.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Sounds a bit of bullshit.
And
there.
what about the Tapjoy and Beat Machine? Nothing at all?
No, I don't think so.
What? Oh, well, maybe this. Okay, so are you running Moloko now
I'm not sure if we are.
or Liftoff? Okay, so because if
Moloko
you're-
we did try out, but not sure
Yeah,
about
okay.
the scale. Liftoff I don't think
Okay.
we did.
okay, interesting. Okay, so then it should be some really weird DSP mix that is actually catching.
So the only
These two.
Tapjoy connection we have, I think the offer wall has Tapjoy
Okay,
emitter.
could be that.
But
okay,
it's outbound, right? Not inbound.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So very good. So in terms of the UA channels, the data tools let me down even more than the not the being able to download.
Tragic multiplier.
This is a tragic multiplier. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we can just only look into.
Is that multiplying with imaginary numbers since you're kind of like you
Yeah.
have 0 and then you multiply it and you get something?
Yeah, most probably. This is how I guess it works. But at least I have like few other tools, and I was looking into it, which was like Facebook, almost like 70% of the traffic, and then there was Google, and there was a little bit of the Moloko, as you mentioned, but nothing.
I think,
else,
but
basically.
that sounds accurate actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But
And uploading.
70% Facebook sounds too much though. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the past 12, 18 months it's skewed more
Like 50%.
towards Google. Like
Yeah. Okay.
Google taking more, Facebook taking a little bit less. I think
Okay.
it's like a kind of how the market has gone.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
seen
okay.
similar things happen with our
So
own marketing mix.
then the question is, do you mediate with Max or Iron Source?
Iron Source.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's why the uploading is already closed, because if you were mediating with Max, you will have the opportunity to run the blended ROAS campaigns, and with this type of kind of split, it would make a lot of sense.
But Unity
Because-
has blended ROAS as well, no?
They have hybrid ROAS, but it's not as good as the upline. But in that case, you could actually ask Google to get hybrid ROAS beta if you haven't already.
Right. There's been talk about that, but I don't know the exact latest. Like
That's
need to
fine,
check
but
my
definitely
UX
ask.
team.
Yeah, definitely ask for it.
But let's put it this way: we have discussed that like many times over the past years, like even since 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, well, so 2-3 years ago, man. You need to be very patient. It's not gonna happen overnight. But yeah, like now it's actually happening on Google, but at least on uploading, it's like super powerful. I'm very disappointed with like no TikTok at all.
Actually, I think we were a bit late to the TikTok party, but that TikTok is actually live right now.
It is
Yeah.
amazing. That's great to hear, because then you have the TikTok Creative Challenge, I guess, videos happening, hopefully, which is creators making videos for you. You just need to commit to level of spend, and then you can automatically add these videos into your campaigns, which is quite useful on TikTok. And then, okay, so I guess there is a lot of discrepancy between the tools and then what you are actually running. So I need to find out like what is exactly the tragic multiplier in this case, and then like what exactly is truth, and then maybe compare it with the tool that you use, Jakub, and see like where is the overlap. Maybe. Okay, interesting. Nevertheless, in terms of the creatives, and I think this is the area where you lack the most.
Wow, I want no hooks. I want to see the hooks. You're gonna show the hooks?
There's like zero hooks.
No
Honestly.
hooks.
No.
Ah, you need a hook, Miikka. Always need a hook.
There's only one. There's only like one semi hook, which is like very like I wouldn't call it hook, but anyway. So I would categorize these videos into like few different segments or categories. So there's like Mario-like videos where you kind of get the Mario feel. Then there's like noob versus pro, or levels, level 1 versus level 5 or 15. Then there is this like hordes of enemies, which is also like kind of like altered gameplay-ish, very similar to what Arturo did before. And then there's this the weird UGC. So that we can try and look like what I'm actually talking about. So now let's start with the hook.
Yeah.
It's the hook for you. So that was the hook. Do you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that was the hook, and that's like this kind of the altered gameplay, right? Which you don't. I like the music though. That's pretty good.
We can't hear the music though.
Don't tell him, or he turns it on and we
Yeah,
won't
he's
hear
gonna
each
turn it up
other.
too
Oh
loud.
my god! How come? This is too bad. So you let me down again. Never mind. So we have then the altered gameplay basically. I like this Space Invaders.
This one is
vibe.
classic.
That's very nice.
So have you tried also like these different shapes, not only like a heart but something else? Honestly, more of these, or just cut it into.
I mean, I think most of the winning concepts we've tried a lot of variations.
Okay.
Have you tried implementing it into the game?
Not this one actually. No.
Okay.
Have you tried
This level does not
lying
exist in
and
the game.
showing things that don't exist? Preferably with people that are crying before.
People that are crying before.
I don't know. This is like Playrix ads, you know?
No, I don't think we've tried that kind of like attention grabbing ads.
And
I
you
think-
definitely should.
I think we're okay with altered gameplay, but not the misogynistic,
No. You don't
sexist
need-
kind of ads. Yeah, but there's a lot of space in between accurate gameplay and like a
Altered gameplay.
horseman being not a nice person or whatever.
Yes, we don't. Yeah. If you watch Hero Wars ads, you would know exactly what you're talking
So
about.
yeah, I think you're right. The kind of altered gameplay type of concepts are something we could definitely expand into. I mean, you can see some of them on the screen right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
I mean, this
but there's much more to explore as well. I think that's
way more. I
you're
think
right.
there is one good example of altered gameplay that I kind of liked. I will show it in the Mario videos, but I think we have here like these enemies. So look, I mean, this would be nice if it wasn't like 3 seconds long. I mean, it kind of grabs your attention, but you can use these 3 seconds in a slightly different, more attention grabbing way. But this is a nice video, it's true. And also all of these, like I would expect, or you can kind of like iterate this with like way more enemies than this. Have you tried like Swarm or like whatever? Like there's like millions of the enemies on the screen actually.
We have. I mean, those are one of the OG creatives we started with like back to 2019. But I think your point is there can always be more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you have 1,000, you can try 10,000.
Exactly.
And if you have 10,000, you can try 100,000.
Millions.
You
You
kind
can
of
see
get where
the-
I'm going.
Yeah,
through
you can
this.
see it.
Yeah,
You
I
can
think
see
I
it
think
in
that's
the-
also a solid point.
Yeah, you can see it in the Survivor IO videos basically. I saw also this Halloween one, which is kind of like interesting.
What would be the
guess.
hook, by the way, that you talk about? That is like, what would you put there?
It could be explosion. It can be anything here. You can see it in like all the asset
Okay.
right there. That can be a hook. It
So
can
by hook,
be-
you mean basically a front plate, or
exactly like first 2 seconds. So
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
this.
I can't stop thinking about that, like that start of shit gets real in Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he zips the vest, puts the knife, loads the gun, and then the
Yeah.
gameplay goes.
Yeah,
So I
could be
think
like
we've tried several different front plates,
Yeah.
and like what you see mostly in the ad networks is a reflection of what has worked.
yeah, of course.
It's
yeah,
not a reflection of everything that we've tried out.
Yeah. That's true. That's
that's like very important to notice for the watching. Like you're seeing just the winning creatives, not all of the creatives.
not all of the ones.
But I mean, like I said, give me something I can use and we'll test it. So like I will challenge you to come up with the creative concepts and let's test it out.
I will. Don't worry. I will let you know. So this is the noob versus pro versus master. So I would also try to kind of use the gameplay side by side, not one by one. So noob versus then just like the usual.
So would you do it with the kind of the slider thing or just side by side?
Side by side.
Split
side
screen.
by side.
Yeah.
Split screen. Yeah, basically split screen. Yeah, exactly. And now we can go to there's these levels as well. I would say levels as well, side by side. Level 1, level 20, level 50, and this is just like, I mean, nothing else changes in the gameplay besides this and like maybe like 5 more enemies. If you then say like level 1 and then put 2 enemies and then level 50 and then put 50 or 5,000 enemies, then it's going to be very much like, you will see the difference basically. Here it doesn't say almost anything, like, oh well, this is different. Maybe it's not clear. It's not clear enough. Then we have this like Mario vibes, which I talked about, which is, I mean, interesting.
Okay, now I get the Mario vibe reference.
And we have more of these, which is also what I think. This is kind of slow, to be honest. I mean, you see things happening, but from this fast-paced game, and like I played this like space station, and I was just fucking like, I was trying to survive. Here, I don't get the feeling. I don't get the feeling here in the creative that I really need to survive, and it's like really skill-based, and I need to really play. This is also like a little bit of a Mario vibe, and this is actually quite good.
Yeah, the thing about creatives that are more hectic is that the readability becomes an issue.
Exactly.
And when readability becomes an issue, your creative is dead. So that's kind of why a lot of it.
Can you support that with the data? Because as soon as nice.
Yes. I mean, like we have a lot of hectic creatives that you're not seeing them in the winning creatives.
Okay, interesting.
But because I think the speed, though, I think the speed is a good point. So I think it's fair point that you could retain readability, easy to read layouts, and just try speeding it up 2x.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the pace that's really important. It's really important.
And that basically like fulfills your design goal of making it look fast-paced without sacrificing the readability.
Yeah. So this is definitely Mario vibe, right?
Oh yeah, this is a classic creative as well. Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's quite good. I was like, okay, that's nice. And then we have, I think this is the last one that I wanted to show, which is again a little bit of Mario vibe right here. So it looks like, I guess this, you have tried like multiple different backgrounds and enemies and all of this. I see Mr.Autofire logo, like we discussed with like any Chinese companies, they usually use these types of branding.
Yeah, actually, what do you think about that? Like, it's depending on from whom you ask. They are like, you should definitely put the logo in your creative, and then some people say like, you should never put the logo in the creative.
Well, I don't. It's just personal preference. I usually don't put the logo in the creative. It does. I don't think it's. I don't think that's the main point. I don't think it's kind of helps you in any way. So if you can try and A/B test this and then see like how they fix the conversion rate, but I don't think like there's gonna be like a very big difference.
Yeah, my guess would be that it doesn't really matter, but people still have very like, I don't know, self-confident opinions about it.
Yeah. So honestly, a few things that I would maybe try in this. So different visual style. Let's talk like low poly graphics, slightly different things than what we see here. Then also like 3D videos. So we've seen in the My Perfect Hotel like some 3D kind of scenes where there was this
first person view,
first person
or
view.
third person view.
which I think, well, you have quite good marketability already, but you can always experiment with these type of things. And also the 3D video, it could be just a 3D hook in first 3 seconds, like Jakub mentioned. I mean, you can just use whatever. Then in this case, the hordes of enemies, like more enemies, big explosions, fast pace, or just more advanced hyper casual stuff. Think about Top War, Survivor IO, or Rush Royale, basically using these like gates. So you could jump or like kill enemies, jump through a gate where you just get like, I don't know, twice as fast moving speed, or you get
the classic gate created,
exactly,
like, power up gates.
Exactly, power up gates, and you can use it in this like platformer style. Then you can use humor, I don't know, like whatever, like funny I have no idea like what, but something that can really make me smile when I actually look at the creative, which I could sometimes I see these type of creatives, which is always like good. And then the altered gameplay that we discussed, like different levels, because usually there was this kind of funnel where the archer style, which is good, but then from different sides, just like you said, like readability maybe it could be an issue, but if you speed it up, put more or different levels maybe, or like use the space station, or I don't like if you kind of experiment with different backgrounds, and like this exactly what we see now works the best. But I would try different layouts as well. So I think the maybe Matej rating would be just 4.5 or maybe 5 out of 10, but that's because I think you could acquire like way more than what you are doing at the moment, which doesn't mean that you didn't try like millions of creatives.
Right. So I mean, Top War, Survivor IO, Rush Royale, those are actually all very different if you look at their creatives. Survivor.io is I think their approach is closest to what we have right now. It's very much core gameplay driven. Top War is more towards the altered gameplay, or like kind of
they are trying
at that end.
Yeah.
Also, they don't have a core game, so you have to do it. And Rush Royale is kind of straight in the middle. So I think your suggestions are good, and I took notes of them. But it's still, in the kind of vein of do better creatives. So if you had like one concept that you would do, what would that concept be?
The concept would be a combination of the pace, low poly graphics, and the hordes of enemies. I mean, I still think even if the readability is going to get a little bit lower, then that's what worked for me always. Also for Battle Legion, we used like this like fucking 500 zombies and one catapult. It was the best performing creative out of all. So that's why I think like these like hordes of enemies always work quite well.
Okay, moving to game design.
Yes,
moving to game design.
Yeah, let's
5 minutes.
Great as always.
Do you think someone's still listening, Jakub? Or
no, they always listen, man. Like people always tell me, like, Jakub, we do the serious stuff. These other jokers, they just laugh at you. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, that's how
people
it goes.
tell me that I do the most professional part. So
really,
there's different listeners saying different things, huh?
For sure.
Different types of audience.
Okay. So let's get back to that previous thing that we talked before. So Mr.Autofire launched around 6 months after actual global launch into soft launch, and then scaled later, which is, as I said, like amazing speed. If you look at the game, it innovates by adding a little bit more complexity, because for one thing, it's landscape based, not portrait based, and there's already 2 buttons. So there's a jump button and move button, in contrast to Archer, which is just 1 move button. Skill randomizer, I would say there's also very nice adjustments regarding the new vectors that this kind of a new control scheme enables. So
system and vectors.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really like copy pasta as you would see these usual things here. So that's very nice.
Just so you know, this is Remo smiling, by the way. Like, this is his smile. Like, that's as good as it gets.
10 millions of actual clones with the same thing all over again. This is not it. This is not it.
Regarding the difficulty, and I noticed this. Is this true, or if I just missed it? Because I noticed that when you kill, let's say Archer has this kind of secret thing where if you get closer to the mobs, your attack speed increases to again get you some kind of a buffer of making you feel like a hero, and it's like a comeback mechanic that they nicely implemented because difficulty is everything in these games. So I noticed that you are removing the projectiles of enemies that die on the screen. If you kill them, they immediately evaporate. And I know, like, I've been using this like as a tactic. Like, I would literally rush enemies because I know the projectiles wouldn't even kill me or like reach me because I would kill them before I would get there. So how was the iteration here? Like, how did you approach this thing?
Oh, that's easy. Like, it just feels super bad if you kill the boss and die to a projectile that is still alive. So it's just a design principle that we like to employ. That is that like try to design the game through being like positive to the player instead of
more friendly.
Yeah. So that those type of small things are designed so that feels like
I killed enemy and it kind of didn't disappear. The projectile is still. Well, maybe if
it disappeared, man. You just didn't see it.
Take a video of it and and send it to our customer support so we have a retro of about.
Okay, I will.
But honestly, like this isn't like these are the the devil is in the details. These are the details that makes the games great that nobody's talking about. Like this is how it's actually done. So heads off there.
Yeah, so I mean, any game, if you make games, you will know that any game is a sequence of hundreds and hundreds of decisions that you make along the way. And I mean, this is just a minute detail, right? But the game will be some of these. So yeah, I agree with you.
How did you approach the side view controls? Because I know that, let's say, in the other game that we'll talk about a little bit, there's also one more control button, and you here went just for 2. Was there some kind of a iteration even with more before, or just move speed before without jumping?
No, actually, we never had that, if I recall correctly. The original concept was 2 buttons, or actually, I think the original was there was like buttons left and right. Like in Zombie Catchers. That was one of the ref games for controls.
Okay.
And then we had a jump button.
That's Deca games, Zombie Catchers. I remember that game.
Usually, originally by a couple of Finnish guys.
They took it from someone, I guess.
Yeah. They purchased it.
They
didn't take it. We did try out, I think, manual shooting, but we quickly went back to automatic shooting. What we did have to iterate quite a bit was like how sensitive the joystick is, how it actually works. And I mean, nowadays the game has like a lot of settings you can customize your controls. But it also follows your thumb, because there's a lot of very minute movements that you have to do in a platforming game. So we tried to make it as responsive as possible without feeling finicky. The kind of player controller and the joystick logic, that was something that we iterated a lot, even when the game was still live. But the amount of buttons, we quite fast decided that it's just going to be 2 buttons. The reason why we went for the joystick and not for the left and right buttons was that there's a mechanic where you drop from a one-way platform.
That you can go down.
So we did. So that was like the easiest way to have that mechanic in there as well.
Like, this is what you just heard, guys. This is like your day one feeling, how it's good, because this also translates to like things like I read about it. Like, let's say in God of War, it took them like 1 year to just fine tune the movement of the X returning back to you. And this is the thing with shooters, like movement is literally everything in the feel of it. That's how it works. Okay. Regarding the gacha, of course, our usual favorite one. I counted 5 slots, and my guess is that there were just 4, and pets were added later.
Pets was added literally last week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very
so.
Yeah. Well, if you read the what is it? The notes.
Patch notes.
Patch notes.
I'm not reading patch notes. Like, just going out top of my head. Why would you go for 4 instead of 6? Or like, was there a decision behind it, or?
I think. Some of the things in the game are a remnant from the MVP from 2019.
Because you were so fast, pretty much 6 months after
Yeah. So, and I think like Archer probably had 4 at that point, and we were like, let's just put 4. They added 2 later.
Because I know Survivor.io literally doubled their inventory after 1 month after global launch.
I think it's like generally considered to be a good move. I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna be adding some more slots as well.
You just need more spend and more power progression layers. So that's there.
But what we did, I think like what we did instead was the character gacha. So a lot of focus went into that. So
that can be seen. We'll definitely talk a little bit more about that. Regarding the refund mechanic, because you're using the merge gacha, how was the decision there? Because I know this is then much more demanding without the refund mechanic in the current game. Like if you look into it, there's nothing to refund. If I, let's say, have this whatever pistol 3 that I won't use anymore, I can refund the resources.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of an implementation detail, in my opinion. You might be right that it's a better design to have it with no obvious downside, though. That's also one of the things probably that is a remnant of the kind of 2019 MVP design.
Honestly, I think it's better because you don't need to spend much more currency if you're going through it. You can just slot everything into one and then use it elsewhere.
Let's make sure that we talk about the same thing. So what specifically you mean by the refund mechanic?
That if I would go here, I could refund it back to level 1 and get all the soft currency.
But you're not sharing the screen.
Yeah, can you do that in Archer though? Can you do that in Archer?
No, you can do that in Survivor.io.
Right. Do you know why Survivor lets you do it?
Yeah. Because they have like so high progression tiers in their weapon thing. Like 13, 14?
It's because, well, I mean, that is kind of part of the reason, but the actual reason is that they have the AFK arena style merge economy where you can use any weapon or any of the same slots as fodder once you get to the plus rarities.
You like first six rarities you need specifics, and then from that point on you need like other weapons could be used as fuel. Yeah.
So once you add that, you kind of need to add the refund mechanic.
Yeah.
Because so now you can actually show what you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about like no refund being here. But what Miikka is talking about is the fusion, because if let's say Selegan intend to fuse, and you would need like 3 of the same, which I don't have here. But what happens later down the line that it gets so demanding that the game allows you to use the same type, so any weapon can be used to fuse it higher. That's why it's that refund thing.
Yeah. So once you actually add the AFK arena style merge economy, you force the player to make decisions about merging, and this is important system difference because once a player can make decisions about their merge paths, you can feel as a player that you can make the wrong decision. So this, I mean, I don't really know the people who designed the Survivor.io, but my thinking always was that the reason why Survivor has that refund mechanic is to alleviate concerns that you are doing the wrong decision and kind of like
and you can go back on
beneficial for you to merge. So once if I think if Autofire had these diverging merge paths kind of then it would probably also have the refund mechanic.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, regarding other stuff there. The hero gacha. That I was also kind of surprised a little bit. So usually how I see these are kind of shard gachas where it's like normal in a way that you have chests that get progressively bigger pools with shards of heroes, and then you unlock them and scale them with them. But if I get it right, you just unlock them through the shards, which you somehow get, and then they are leveled up. I mean, they're hero levels through these like elemental shards.
I mean, there's a star system as well if you click on the tab on the top.
So you still need shards even afterwards?
Correct.
Yes, okay. So that's my mistake that I didn't see that.
Yeah.
There's then twofold.
Dear listeners.
That's definitely your mistake and not the UI not being perfect.
No. That's okay, but that's good. But then it makes complete sense. Yeah, so there's shard gacha and there's on top of it the like elemental resource currency system, because it plays very nicely. And my other question, pretty much going right into it, is that when did you add the elemental system into it, and how did you make sure that the incentives are kind of right for this? Because I see a lot of games fail because of not fail, but like doesn't do it properly in a way that it's really kind of necessary, or like the incentive is really high for you to upgrade multiple heroes, not just one or two that solves all your problems, where gachas pretty much die.
Yeah, so we were out 2019, late 2019, after 3 months in development. Obviously, we didn't have all the content in at that point. So it was no heroes, just 2 worlds. So you basically bet the game right now that we had back then. Then we started adding these kind of layers throughout 2020, to be honest. By spring 2020, we had, I think, 5 worlds and an end game feature, which is the tower tournament that you actually can see there. And at that point, we were confident enough that we started actually scaling UA with something like 60-day paybacks or something. So
nice.
And then kind of while we were running the train, we were building the tracks ahead of the train. I think we added by fall 2020, we added Battle Pass and Hero Gacha. Or I think we had heroes first, and then maybe the next update was Gacha or something like that.
Or were there already elemental based by that time?
Yes. So the elemental system was kind of there from the get-go.
Okay. And how does it work? Because I never saw it, like, let's say the weakness, strengths, whatever chart.
So it's mostly used in the end game. So there's elemental castles, and then there's events. And then there's the clan events. So maybe the break it down, kind of what's kind of the incentives for using many heroes. The base design was that there's these global bonuses that you get when you level up the heroes. Obviously, this is like an easy to understand solution that also scales terribly. So there's other stuff there as well. So some heroes are better for some game modes or some worlds. Every hero has a trait that is like a kind of like a free perk that you get for the hero.
Yeah, like soft requirement, let's say.
Correct. Yeah. Later
we added Dr. Toxic good? Or is he good?
I mean, you will need eventually you will need like 5 heroes of each element if you want to optimize your play. So yes, you will want to have him as well. He might not be like the S tier hero, but he's like a solid performer.
Good enough. Yeah, good enough.
Good enough.
He's not the real MVP.
That is Dr. Toxic's creed. Yeah.
So you would not ask Dr. Toxic to save you if you're in trouble?
I mean, it depends who's available.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we added more incentives later. Like there's these elemental castles where you can use up to 3 heroes. There's also elemental bonus. So these heroes of the correct element will get bonus. Then there's clans that have basically you will use the elemental heroes as kind of like a ticket to play the guild event. So if you have more of the element that is
now I got it. Okay.
Today's element, then you can play the mode more times. So not really a one single thing, but like a couple of things.
That's really good. Like game. I think you described it nicely. And is there anywhere like a hard requirement? Like if you don't have the elemental hero, you cannot play it, or it's just more of a soft requirement that you will fail if you don't have the right element?
Yeah, the clan event requires it, but you can borrow from your clan members as well.
Yeah, of course. So, that's very nice, by the way, the social helper mechanic. That's good.
Well, Rima is always talking about social features.
Yeah, social features are great. You want to keep your friendlies with great friends. Those are the white whales I was talking about. Like you want to have those hard free to play players playing the game even without
Moby
paying.
Dicks of your guild.
And I mean, like the clan is something that it's very hard to usually measure, like if you did
the impact of it
feature or not. So you might still see it, in your very late retention or like it's kind of vague. So it's like a hard feature to put effort into. But
but then it was like, we need to put clans, guilds, and leaderboards. And like, Okay. Why? Oh, because we have to. It's like,
yeah, I think it's
okay.
also like there needs to be something that is like meaningful for players to do in
Yeah.
the guild, not just the chat, but
Yeah, of course. Like
it's a hard feature to design. Like
there's
any
the
game that
boss.
pulls it off is great.
Yeah, that does it properly. Like I know even let's say Survivor.io, their clan features aren't as fleshed out as yours, if I understand correctly. They were just added after the anniversary this year, just the basic ones. So you're like way like leagues forward compared to them.
Thank you.
This. Yeah, that's my other questions. Like there's so much end game features and like the the width of the content, different game modes and everything that you can play here. That's like very, very nice. I don't think so I ever seen some kind of a roguelite on a similar scale. When you launched, how much would you say in percentage what you got as you have now?
10%, 20%, let's say. That's my guess.
I go
No,
for 15.
20% is too much. I think we had like
Okay. 10.
5% of what we have today.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Like
what I
even
wanted
less,
to hear.
Even less.
Yeah.
Couple of
For
percent.
people to understand how fucking hard it is to build these things up. It's not that
But
you
also
build
like
it and you leave it.
But what Miikka said, like then until the end of 2020, you said, when there was enough content, then when you started scaling. So like that's like, hey guys, like you need content, you need also the other part of the equation, CPI versus the LTV, because obviously without that you can't spend that much. I mean, you can, but it's not going to get any.
I'm a bit curious, actually. I just came up with something like I've seen quite a lot of copycat games or very similar games with similar gameplay. Did that hurt like UA quite a lot, or like what was the impact of all these
I mean,
other?
of course, when someone
clones?
is buying traffic with similar looking creative, it has an impact.
Yeah.
But I mean, how would I put it? We are quite confident in the quality of our products in the long term. So I see it more as I guess as an annoyance than like a huge threat. Obviously, you should never, kind of grow complacent. But I think what you can do when people clone your game, you just like double down to
you clone it back,
making sure you clone it. Actually, you take the good parts back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you just like make sure that you have the best experience available in this genre.
Yeah.
Yes, it's product first, definitely.
Yeah, because sometimes like we discussed, Survivor.io was first to launch. Then there's this Hordes and what is it?
Hordes and Heroes.
Hordes and Heroes, which brought like a little bit of a like different experience and some other like improvements.
But they were there even. They were. My guess is the original target was Archero. They were following up, not Survivor.io. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So what do we have? What do we have left?
Yeah.
This discussion?
Battle Pass, you completed, like you said. There was added later. Cosmetics. That's one thing. Like I never saw anywhere an offer or like possibility to buy the buttons for the cosmetics here.
What do you mean buttons? You mean
there's a currency for cosmetics in the game,
right? So So yeah, the skins. So our artist really wanted to do cosmetics. So then I was like, yeah, if you do it. Like we can do it, and then I designed a system in like an afternoon, and then we put it in the game.
Yeah, okay. Like my question.
Fair enough. That's
to be honest, I mean, like it's something that like by now there's a lot of really cool content there.
Yeah, it's like a season. There's a lot of.
It looks really good.
Yeah, and when you like, I mean, you should give people that work on your game a little bit of leeway to make the game really fun.
Like I wanted to.
I think the skins is more like a fun feature than a monetizing feature.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have the kind of seasonal skins in
Battle Pass.
In the Battle Pass. Yeah, I think we had that, and then we have them in the gacha box during like a seasonal event.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I mean, like when we tried it to put the buttons into offers, they didn't really work. But there's, I mean, it's possible that we rework the feature in the future. But also, to be honest, the game is still like, although it has the clans and all of that, it's primarily a single-player PvE experience.
Yeah, of course.
Which is not like, it's not the best breeding ground for cosmetics.
I just wanted to push you in a way, like, are cosmetics doing less than 5% of overall revenue? But yeah, we don't even need to talk
I think
about
that answered your question.
Yeah, very much true.
Yeah, and going a little bit on a detour here, regarding the other game that I checked a little bit. That's on the account, which is Sword game. There's also the Battle Badges game. This for me felt like an improvement and like learnings used from the previous game. I know there's the inventory system actually is now much more closer to Survivor IO than Archero. Can you talk a little bit like how did you think about this one when you were making it?
Did you play that game like right now, or did you
No,
play
no. I played
like
it
a year ago?
No, I played.
Yeah, I played it a year ago and
this
now
week,
as well.
This week.
Okay,
I got the first one of the first builds.
Right.
Cool. Well done, Matej. Gold star for you.
So those are two different games.
Yeah.
Matej will know if you played them both.
Very different.
Yeah. So yeah, we are kind of iterating a little bit on this one still. So definitely, like the systems that it currently has, it's very like Survivor-esque, I think.
Like for me, like it evokes a little bit even of Hades in a way that the skills that you can select in the randomizer, they're actually very prerequisite and they continuously increase themselves. It's not that 20 different skills. It's like 6 skills that you have the star system now.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know what you want me to tell about this specifically. Like, do you have a specific question?
There are specific questions like why would you add one more button to it in a way, make it even more complex to control?
So,
are you going for more niche or what was the idea behind that?
I guess you would never go for more niche, but the thing is, for this game we couldn't make the auto attack kind of satisfy our game
Sword
feel.
fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy. Yeah.
Okay.
So in these kind of situations, then we either ditch the project or we go with like what feels good for the game. So that's why there's the attack button. There's probably a way to make it work without the attack button, but for these concepts, like the fantasy that we wanted it to fulfill, it felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but for me, like this definitely seems like the usual thing that I said, that it's pretty much a very nice kind of a learning experience taken from Mr.Autofire and then put it into another game, which is then like for me it seems like much more fleshed out, even though I haven't played that much, like just like few levels in a way to just
Thanks. Please actually play it and give feedback. Like we just recently did an update, so it has a little bit more content.
Okay.
Yeah, the
we
update feels
don't have a
very
big team
different.
We don't have a big team working on it right now, so there's like a small elite team.
Is that because the other part of the team is working on the new game, which is in the soft launch, which is called Battle
we
Badges?
actually in summer we started kind of lots of small projects, and one of them is the new game. So that's like 5 weeks of development.
Yeah.
Wait, Finn's work in summer? Game. Since when?
In August, yes.
So if I understand correctly, Battle Badges is even more ambitious in the way that it's PvP synchronous. Did I get that right?
It is actually, yeah.
Okay, and there's a dig mechanic on top of it.
Yeah. So it's like Brawl Stars with side view and destructible environment.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, that's good. And then my last question is then, if
we
look at all of these games, I can see some kind of a pattern. Are you then following the site, let's say, platformer template then? What we've been talking
Not
about?
really,
Maybe you
I
heard
guess...
about.
What's that?
That we've been talking about it like for a few months now, that all the hybrid people, they want to in the end create a template what Hobby did. Now Saying Games seems to have made one in the idle arcade genre, and you maybe want to have your own, so you can
type of game.
Yeah. So now you want to iterate because Sword game and Mr.Autofire, and now the new game seems to be running on a similar kind of a meta game.
I mean, you're right. I don't think we are like it's not like a strategic decision to do exactly that.
It just kind of evolved.
Yeah, you're just doing it smartly.
It just kind of evolved, and there's a factor of there's not really a lot of games like that in the App Store that also have like a solid free-to-play economy. And I mean, like that now we've made a couple, so we're pretty fast at making them. But I think one should, this is kind of not to self, one should also be careful that you don't kind of funnel yourself into like a too strict box. So I would say
have that disadvantages definitely.
Yeah, but we discussed it with My Perfect Hotel that you kind of you then need to be in the same kind of genre, category, whatever, because the template or whatever it kind
forces you to do it.
forces
Otherwise
you
you
to do
cannot
the
use
same
it.
things all over again. On the other hand, if you look at the Say Games revenue, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
if
you're right.
you do
Right.
this,
I mean, Say
if
Games
you do
is
the same
killing
thing.
it. They're doing really
exactly.
well.
So
and
if you
solid games. So like.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go in the same direction and you kind of improve on the way and evolve, like you said, it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what's happening. Like the sword game is definitely an improvement in my book. Like,
oh
I
yeah,
found
yeah,
to
100%.
it. Yeah. So mine rating of Mr.Autofire would be, I would say, for the very, very big width and of the end game, and now that you said it, more IP than ad revenue, I would say, yeah, definitely 8.5 out of 10.
Ooh, nice, very nice, very
I'll
very
take
nice.
that. I'll take that rather than the 4.5.
I know, yeah.
No, it's an amazing game, man. Like literally, like heads down.
The game's great. Yeah, the game's really good, really good. Nice. Okay, I think that's it. Actually,
Take us home, Matej.
All right. First of all, thanks, Mick, for joining us, because it's really important for us, as well as the the learning experience and like how to evolve also like outside of these like fucking tools that always let us down.
Yeah,
and it's always good to talk to people. And you made a very good game. Well, you can make better creatives, but that's
Thanks for keeping the onslaught from us.
Yeah, and and also, please share the podcast with your friends, colleagues, dogs and cats. They love it. Join our Slack channel. We already have quite amazing discussions there. And any last words, Miikka, on your end?
Yeah, I think everyone who's listening should go to App Store or Google Play and type in the search box Mr.Autofire and download the game.
Very
and yeah, thanks for having me also.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Until next time.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We're screwed.
So, Miikka, if there's anything that we talk about you don't have in the show, you can tell us, and then we just remove it.
Sure.
And then
the
safe word is cucumber.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you'll just keep it there and have me say cucumber.
Yeah.
It's a
That's what we have. That's what we have a safer word, and that's pickles, and that's the extra safe word. Yes. If you don't really want to stop, but you kind of want to stop, it's cucumber. But if you really want to stop, it's pickles.
I think this is something, Felix, that you're using your playbook from the bar on a Friday night.
Now from Kit Kat,
Yeah, exactly.